Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. This is a 2009 Craftsman 21-inch cut. I had started working on this thing yesterday. I had showed you this unit. I had sold this, I believe, 3 years ago. It had come back to me and I hadn't noticed it until I dragged it out of my to-do pile. I noticed that the safety brake bar here, I had welded a washer because it had a crack in the bar. I goobered up a washer here to reinforce it. Noticed the crappy welding job and said, hey, that's my work. So we tried to start this yesterday. You guys were in the front seat here with me. What we found out is the unit was hard to pull, and it felt like the timing was off. We looked at the blade, discovered the blade turned into a paddle wheel. Somebody hit a stationary object and turned this whole thing down. When it did that, it broke off the flywheel key. So I disassembled this thing this morning, and sure enough, the flywheel key was severed, and I'll show you that in a minute. So if you got to order another zinc key, it's 22698 or 22698S as in Sam. There'll be an S on the end, and also 5002B or K. There's probably 4 or 5 other part numbers, but if you use these two, you'll be able to get a hit on Fleabay. So I went to start this yesterday with you kids, and the first pull, it jerked back a little bit, and I could feel it in my shoulder. So when it does that, the timing's off, and looking at the blade, we figured out why. So here's a pin, and it's completely severed in half. These are made out of zinc. So this is soft metal. Instead of the crank destroying itself, the force is distributed into this zinc flywheel key, and it just severs this instead of doing internal damage. So I put another flywheel key in it this morning. I changed out one wheel. I found a plastic wheel. It's not white like the other side, but it's the right size hub and the right size diameter tire. So that was done. I put a used blade on it to give us the momentum to start. I went around and spray painted the engine case. The only thing I have to do is add some fuel. So when I disassembled this, I realized I had put a new carburetor on this before I sold it. And the tank's a secondary tank or an aftermarket tank. And I put a new recoil. I bolted it to the recoil housing. So it appears I did a lot of work to this 2009 machine before I sold it. There's a lot of new parts on this thing. So if we get it to start, I'll change the oil. We looked at the oil yesterday. It was dark and well used, but it was at the right level. Let's fuel this thing, and I don't see any reason why it shouldn't start. When I had it all apart, I took the carb off. There was some water and a little bit of sediment in the bottom of the float bowl. I cleaned that all out and put it back together. So this thing's been gone through with a fine comb, fine-tooth comb, as they would say. Okay, I had to jam the bulb a few times to get it to prime. I thought we may have an issue, but it did start burping eventually. So let me pull on this '09 Fine Beauty. Okay, it's got a low idle. Let's adjust that. I'll show you how. We have to remove this top cover. Usually these things get lost and they're missing. Like I said yesterday, this is a complete machine. There's nothing missing on this thing as far as the plastics. Let me get a Phillips, remove this. I'll show you how to adjust the RPMs. They just seemed a little on the low side. Go to the kitchen, get some refreshments. Bring me back a Mountain Dew. I'll take it on ice. I got to get a clip for the safety brake bar so I can mess with the adjustment here while I'm showing you guys what I'm doing. So hold on a minute. What I'll be doing is moving this tab out that the throttle spring is attached to. I'm going to pull it out, extend it this way to the front of the engine. That'll increase the RPMs. This tab right here. So I'm going to start this thing, use some needle nose and just pull this to the front, pulling more tension on the spring. Okay, I'm happy with that. Move this forward a little bit. Okay, now that the oil had heated up a little bit with that short run time, I'm going to turn this on its side, let it drip out through the fill tube here, turn the whole unit over and let it drain the oil. I'll put fresh oil on this, or in this, and this will be ready to go. So all it was the Keyway. Somebody hit a stationary object. The blade showed us what to look for. Huge bend in the end of the blade. It sheared off the flywheel key. I buy these in 10 packs. They're not very much, couple bucks for 10. Guy out of Texas, mower parts for less. Excuse me. Sold me these 10 pack, couple bucks, mower parts for less. In Texas, I found them on eBay. Anyway, appreciate you kids and cadets coming out. Have a good day today. Tip your waitress and wait staff. See you. Oh, it's mower parts, the number 4, and then less. Mower parts, the number 4, and then less. Mower parts for less. See you.